Hi, my name's Justin Brown, and I want to share with you this video about overthinking and three powerful hacks that I've developed to actually turn my overthinking into my most powerful friend. Where the idea comes from for this video is from IdeaPod's social network, and I went in here and I was looking for an article idea to write about, and I realized that overthinking is one of the greatest challenges I've ever faced, and it's been such a massive journey to turn into my most powerful ally, and I wanted to share that with you today. But I came to our social network, and in the search bar at the top, I typed in overthinking, and there are a few results here, ideas shared by others. Of course, IdeaPod, the social network for sharing your ideas in 1,000 characters, where people come together around the sharing of ideas, exploring new perspectives, empathizing with each other, a whole range of different things. But what I came across were two ideas. One by Lena, which really, touched me inside, and I realized that while overthinking can become a really powerful ally and friend, it's also a massive problem for so many people, and it has been for me in my life, and I'm sure will continue to be in the future. But this beautiful post by Lena, I actually found very poetic, where she describes what it's really like to be an overthinker. And I won't read the whole thing. I'm going to put a link to it in the notes to this post. But you'll see here that if you go to the bottom, and you'll see that she's just tired, fucking tired. She wishes sleep could cure this tiredness, but it doesn't help that you're still up at 5:30 in the bloody morning, and it's just such a terrible condition to have when you're overthinking to the point that it takes away your energy and you can't relax anymore and you can't sleep. And personally, I've been dealing that with for 10, 15 years of just not really sleeping too well as a result of an overactive mind. And I've learned a few things that I can do to actually turn this around for myself. But the other idea is by the wandering butterfly, and the title of this idea is Overthinking is Toxic. And I'm just going to go halfway through where overthinking can ruin almost anything. It can ruin one's mood, one's day, and oftentimes one's everything. It's very easy for people to say that one should stop overthinking or stop being worried so much. It's truly easier said than done, but somehow it's just got to stop. It makes the wandering butterfly feel sad that others are going through it. So if you are an overthinker, I'll just share my own reactions to these ideas on the social network. And that is that the first thing that I've had to learn is that I've had to stop trying to fix my overthinking. Because what you end up doing when you try to fix your overthinking is that you're trying to use your own thoughts to stop the thinking. And it just fuels the fire. It's like pouring fuel on a fire to burn it out. It's just not going to work. So I've developed these hacks that I do to sort of create this separation between myself and my thoughts. The first thing I do is to create multiple identities for myself, for all of the voices running around in my head, and I actually learn to listen to those voices. So I'll give an example. If I'm about to go on a date with someone, and I might be feeling a little bit insecure, wondering, am I good enough for what's about to happen? Am I going to win her approval? And a whole range of different things. All these voices start running in my head. I start to label them. So I've got, for example, the insecure Justin, the jealous Justin, the angry Justin, the overconfident Justin, the attractive Justin, the powerful Justin, the entrepreneurial Justin, a whole range of different Justins. And I start to label those voices that are running around. And then what I do is actually listen to them. I listen to them as though it's my friend. So I want to listen to the insecure Justin and say, well, what are you actually saying to me? And I start to evaluate those words. Like, do I want to listen to that and take it on board? Or do I think that's actually, not for now? I listen to the angry Justin. I listen to the powerful Justin. What that does is it creates a separation between me and the voices so that you can actually not take it all so seriously and just have a bit of fun with it. It becomes a bit more playful. And they're always there. They're always just running around. You can't stop it. You actually invite it in. You really embrace it head on. The second thing I do is, I've learnt this from a trick to meditation that I learnt from Alan Watts actually. And that is, I treat the thoughts in my head the way I do the sound from music. So, to explain, when I meditate, what I do is I sort of, stop and just slow down, and I start listening to all the sounds coming in without labeling them, the way I would listen to a song. So, you just sort of like notice right now, there's like the rustling of the trees behind me, there's a plane overhead and a few different things. But rather than trying to label the trees or say that is a plane, instead it's just, there's like a hum, a roaring as it just sort of like moves around. It's actually getting louder right now. But I don't label it as an aeroplane, and you just kind of like listen to it as though it's music. and it becomes much more enjoyable. You're not judging anything anymore. It's just there. It can be super noisy. People can be talking around you, but it doesn't interrupt you anymore. And what I start to do then is to do the same with thoughts. So all those voices running around in my head, I just listen. But then I detach and I don't really give it any meaning anymore. And you're just kind of like, oh, there's a shitload of thinking going on. There's all these thoughts running around. And I've created that separation between myself and my thoughts, so it doesn't have that power anymore, that energy to it, and you just kind of like observe it, and it just runs around because it's never going to stop. And that's the thing I learned. I can't fix it. I have an overactive mind. It is the way it is. So those are the first two things I do. Number one, I learn to create multiple identities for the voices in my head, and I just listen and engage. Number two, I dissociate from the thoughts themselves, and I treat them as I would listening to a beautiful song. The third thing I do is I've turned this whole struggle against overthinking into my most powerful friend. It's the struggle that defines my life. It's been a big part of my life. I don't want to over exaggerate this because it's been pretty easy to deal with along the way, but I think it's been easy to deal with because I've turned it into a really good friend of mine. I am an analytical person. I'm a very thoughtful person. I am my own worst enemy at times, and that just makes me laugh now. But my over analytical mind has proven to be one of my greatest strengths, I would say. I'm very prepared for meetings, business meetings with people. I've thought about all the different scenarios that can happen. But because those different scenarios are spoken to me by the friends in my head, I think about it. I think about the different things that could happen, and I take it seriously at the right times, I think. So it's turned into my friend. It's kind of a part of who I am. I know that I've got a strong mind that really, goes deep. And I know that the result of being an overthinker definitely led to the creation of IdeaPod, because I had so many different thoughts when I was doing my PhD. I wanted to, get them out and meet people from different walks of life, all these different areas. And I'm really glad I did, because it set me on this journey, and I've met so many wonderful people along the way. I've learned so much about myself and managed to let go of a whole lot of ideas I thought were important along the way too. So it has turned into my most powerful friend. If you're watching this on IdeaPod social network, please leave a response to this idea. I would love to hear from you, whether this relates to you at all or has nothing to do with how you live your life. Create your own ideas and create a relationship between them. But if you're watching this elsewhere, please come to our social network. You go to ideapod.com and then you click through to the social network, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you on board. We'd love you to join our, I think, a very special community on the web of a few overthinkers and a few people that manage to live in that meditative flow-like state all the time. And it's always great to meet new people and hear about your experiences of life. Thanks for listening this far. Hope to see you soon.